welcome everyone. Today I'm just going to be kind of walking you through a bunch of different strategies that we use for multiplication. As far as for how I even went to school, how you probably went to school, we memorized our multiplication math facts, which as third grade students they will also do. But we find it very important that they actually understand the concept that they are doing and why multiplication even works, what the sign in the middle even means. And so I'll kind of just preview it. We do a few different strategies. We do equal groups, repeated addition, we teach arrays, and a number line. And so I will start off with equal groups. And so really what we're saying is, in this case, the X, or the multiplication symbol in the middle, stands for groups of. So that would mean, in this case, groups of. Think of a word problem. Mr. Yost has 3 packs of soda, and they each have 8 sodas in each. How many sodas does he have? Well, when we picture that in our head, that is a multiplication problem to us, but what we would actually do is it would be 3 groups of 8. And so we would draw 3 groups. And, as we advance in the beginning, we will literally put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 dots in each of them. And later on, we will just get to a point where we just put an 8 inside of it. But you can just do dots. Then you count up all the dots. You have 8 plus 8 is 16, plus 8 is 24. And that would be your answer. It is literally just drawing dots, putting them in the 3 groups of 8. Could you draw 8 small groups of 3? Yes. Later on we learn commutative property. But in this case, we really focus on what the actual equation is saying. 3 groups of 8 with that 3 times 8. All right, let's move on to repeated addition. As you can see, it's a very similar process. It's still, in this case, basically meaning groups of, because you're going to have 4, the number 4, added together a bunch of different times. And so in this case, it just means if the groups are of 4, well, 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4, and that would equal our answer. And so you can kind of see how similar it is to equal groups. It's really, if we just went, instead of drawing dots, put the 8s inside, 3 groups of 8. Well, this is 5 groups of 4. And so when you add these together, that would equal, well, this is 16 plus 4, and that equals 20. And again, could you skip count by 5s? Yes, all the strategies still work. However you solve multiplication, yes, the answers will still be the same. These are just strategies and tips and tricks to help solve word problems. Actually, I want to add one more thing as far as we're talking about repeated addition. Repeated addition tends to be helpful as we get into bigger numbers. Just kind of the progression through grade levels. They won't necessarily be learning how to stack the numbers until 4th grade. So if they got a problem like 20 times 3, they could add together 20 plus 20 plus 20 and realize this answer is 60. So it's just another way as far as numbers get bigger as well. All right, and so looking at arrays now, an array is really just equal amount of rows, equal amount of columns. And so the X in this case means rows of. So when we're talking arrays, we're saying rows of, and so that means 3 rows of 6. So 6 in each row, 3 rows of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so a lot of times they use this image or this strategy when we're talking about either like farmers and crops or rows of trees, or they had a bunch of cups lined up, or maybe it's books on a bookshelf. And so it kind of helps picture the problem. And so then all you do is literally just count up the dots, or you can see that there's 6 in each row. 6, 12 equals 18. And again, even on this problem, just something to point out, I put the equal sign on the other side. It's just an early demonstration of the algebraic operations, kind of showing that this is kind of like a teeter-totter, and we just need to balance the scale. It doesn't matter if the equal sign is on the left or the right, as long as they are both balanced. And last but not least, we will get into number line. And number line, really just another strategy, probably not used as often as the rest, but it is nice to kind of just see it as far as imagery with the numbers lined up. So the X or the sign in this case stands for jumps of. So we're saying there's 4 jumps of 3. So if we are starting at 0, well, we're jumping by 3s, and we're going to do that 4 different times. So 1, 2, 3, there's 1 jump. 1, 2, 3, 2 jumps. Oh. 1, 2, 3, that's 3 jumps. And 1, 2, 3, that's 4 jumps. And the number that we land on would be our answer, 12. Again, probably not the fastest way. It's not that we have number lines laid out, but we want them to be able to see a number line with these jumps on it and realize, oh, what multiplication equation could I write from this? And so they would see that they're jumping by 1, 2, 3, and that there are 4 jumps, and so you would say 4 times 3. All right. Well, again, hopefully that is a little bit helpful. Multiplication, I know, is not taught the same way that we probably learned it, but it really does help lead to a better understanding of what they're actually doing and not just memorizing a bunch of random numbers. Again, by the end of the year, the expectation is that all multiplication math facts are memorized, and so do not think that we're just saying this replaces it. There's a place for math fact memorization, but we want them to have a conceptual understanding of what they're doing before they get into the memorization.